Why do people think that the web front-end development is the easiest field of IT? You just have to create index.html, style.css, main.js, link it together, and boom, you are done, right? Not. That's absolutely not all at all. So first of all, you should know the difference between the front-end and the back-end development. Long story short, front-end development refers to the part of the web development which deals with user interface and user experience, UI and UX. The goal of the front-end development is to create a responsive, accessible, and visually appealing interface that makes it easy for users to navigate and interact with. The backend, on the other hand, is the part of the web development which deals with server side of the application. The goal of the backend development is to create scalable, secure, and efficient system which will process data, handle requests, and communicate with third-party services and APIs. The backend developer often works with server-side logic such as authorization, authentication, and business logic. And what does a front-end developer have to deal with? User interface and user experience. As a front-end developer, you should have a base knowledge of UI and UX designs, because on your personal projects, freelance projects, and projects with small teams, you won't have a UI UX designer. And your responsibility as a front-end developer will be to create a UI UX design for a web or application. I recommend to have a base knowledge of softwares like Figma or Adobe XD. Figma is a free application which allows you to create designs with interactivity and prototypes. Other part of the UI UX design is to create a visual aspect of your web or your application according to the identity and brand of your client. We are talking about the color schemes, graphics, interactivity, fonts, and others. Select a tech stack you want to use in your project. Tech stack means what programming languages and technologies you want to use in your project. For example, when you are building a landing page for a company and they don't require any dynamic element or dynamic content generated on the web, you can just select HTML plus CSS or some kind of CSS UI library like Bootstrap or Tailwind, or some kind of CSS preprocessor like Sass. Then, depends on the size of the interactivity on your web, just select some kind of JavaScript library or just simply vanilla JavaScript. But when you are creating fully dynamic web application, just doing it by vanilla JavaScript is some kind of suicide. You just have to select one of the JavaScript frameworks or libraries which will help you to develop this kind of application. You can choose ReactJS, Angular, VueJS, Astro, Gatsby, and many others. These JavaScript libraries and frameworks will allow you to handle internal state of the application, create dynamic content, and handle requests. Make your application responsible. Responsibility is also part of the web front-end development. Front-end developer have to make sure that his application or web can be used on different devices with different screen resolutions. That's where the media queries come to the place. Overall, this process is not easy. Just for example, look at the Samsung Galaxy Fold with two screens with really wild screen resolutions. Then LG Wing or Lenovo's new retraceable displays. SEO, search engine optimization. The way how to make your page visible for the public, making sure that the people will find your page on the internet and try to rank your page as higher as possible in Google search. Here we use some methods like putting keywords in the meta text of our page, using all types of meta text, using Open Graph Protocol tags, and also use semantic tags instead of div tag. Make your code clean, structured, sustainable, and ready for the next improvement and refactorization. In many projects, front-end development is a never-ending process, but this is similar to other fields of software development. make your application legally safe. Did you know that when you are using some kind of analytics tool like Google Analytics, first of all, you have to ask user for permission? It is called consent to processing the personal data. Here, it is European law about the GDPR. And also, this is the other thing you have to deal with as a front-end developer, because you have to all set it up on your web page. Make your web or application accessible for disabled people like colorblind, blind people, people who can see well, or people who can hear well. There exist a lot of methods how to make your web accessible. For example, using semantic tags like footer, header, main, section, and article instead of div. Then using alt properties with your image tags, make your links and buttons focusable by a tab key, and many others. This is one of the most underrated responsibility of front-end developer, and at the same time, it's really important one. In conclusion, front-end development might seem easy, but it's not. To become a good front-end developer, you have to learn and practice all the time. It is never-ending process because every year new technology came out, and as a front-end developer, you have to hold the step with that. Let me know your opinion down to the comment section. Do you think the front-end development is the easiest field of IT? Thanks for watching, stay safe, see you soon, and code.